How y'all doing? So I'm back again. Obviously, first thing I always want to say is positive and forward, everybody. It's good to be back. I had some vacationing that I did, so I'm a little late posting this video. I should have done it last Sunday. It's currently Hump Day Wednesday, so I'm trying to catch up with that. The last episode was about meditation. And what we always like to do is follow up the last episode with uh, with some explanation in the previous episode. Follow up the next episode with some explanation in the previous episode. And what I really want to follow up on in terms of meditation is, for one, my sister asked me a couple of questions, so I want to get to those. Um, I think I didn't address them last episode. It was very important that I go back and double back. And two, meditation being the center of your life, the center of everything, essentially the center of your spirituality. So last episode about meditation. This episode is called Spirituality One. My sister will do a follow up on Spirituality Two. We've elected for her to do that on her own, and elected for me to do this one on my own. So here we are. So, with meditation being last episode, something that I can address, one thing my sister asked me was, um, she wanted me to talk specifically what the difference for me is between meditation and prayer. Um, Directly for me, the difference between meditation and prayer are that they're both a tool, and one you use for others and one you use for yourself. And I don't believe they're interchangeable. A lot of people with a lot of different belief systems believe that maybe prayer, you can pray for others and you can pray for yourself. I have never found the method of prayer for myself to work, because essentially it's the same thing as meditation. If we want to be clear, I think we got to really dig into just what it looks like. You're sitting there, you're praying, you're asking God for answers. Um, can you do that another way? Sure, you can. Absolutely, you can. So, meditation takes on no one form. For me, it's a quiet place in my mind. For everybody, what it should be is just reflecting on oneself and the baggage and the different things that you have inside you that you either need to let go or you need to feed and give more life to. So, for me, I was having a very big issue with prayer and faith. I said, so for me, prayer is something that you use for someone else, and meditation is something you do for yourself. And that's something that I kind of stated last video, but my sister wanted more clarity, and that's the clarity. Very much you can pray for others, you can't meditate for others. And in my opinion, very much you can meditate for yourself, you can't pray for yourself. So that's one stark thing, and it builds on something. Last episode, I spoke about my message that I have for people, and um, just the essential beliefs I operate by. Obviously, everybody doesn't operate under the same belief system, and that's fine. I'm not here to try to say that my opinion or my belief system is end all. Uh, and I did address last episode that I nearly killed myself, and I couldn't find out where my center was, anything about myself. And one thing that really troubled me about saying what I'm going to say here in this video is, uh, I really thought that in providing my message, in giving people what provides me energy, that provides me success, that gives me something to build on, to be a mature and progressive adult. Uh, in doing that, that I would essentially almost break my mama's heart. My mother is a firm believer in Jesus, a firm Bible thumper, uh, raised me and my siblings in that way. And unfortunately, I don't believe in Jesus. And it's been very bothersome for me to admit that to the world, not because I felt like uh, I uh, didn't, I wasn't sure of my beliefs, But I really just felt like people would judge me, people would hate me for it, people would this and that. But I want to bring some true clarity to just what people can do to find a sense of spirituality and a connection with God. For me, I firmly believe in God. I feel like God exists because miracles happen, because so many things happen upon us, uh, like blessing. Though so many things are blessings that no man can construct. It's just not possible. So of course, for me, there's no debating God exists. Jesus, though, I feel like Jesus is my brother. I feel like Jesus is a counterpart of mine. It's not someone for me to look up to in terms of being the Son of God or being God Himself in so many ways, but like a big brother, being a brother that showed me what else I can do, how I can become the best version of myself. To me, that's what Jesus is. A picture of a way for you to become the best version of yourself. And then once you do become the best version of yourself, you can walk the earth healing others. You can share a great message, and you can show love like no other. That's why they had the phrase, "What would Jesus do?" Very many times, uh, people would say, "Well, what would Jesus do?" And always, whatever people consider would be surrounded around love. Whatever the answer is, it would be Jesus would show love in this situation regardless. And for me, I firmly believe in spreading love. I firmly believe in getting really close and get a strong connection with God, but it doesn't resonate with me through Jesus. If I'm going to talk to my daddy, then I want to talk directly to my daddy. I don't want to talk to my brother to get to my daddy. That never works. And so, with that being said, I want to also say that Christianity is not something I speak against. I wildly feel like if you believe in Christianity, that's a good thing because you're going to find a way to get closer to God. My problem is really starts when you're trying so hard to be close to Jesus that you forget that your relationship with God is what matters. Your relationship with Jesus, they say in the Bible, disown me before, disown me before the world and I disown you before my Father. Um well, for me, I'm willing to take that chance because I just can't see that uh my Father wants me to be, so uncomfortable, so many things that that religions paint as temptations and this and that. I would think that my God, who I believe in, wants me to be happy. The Bible says that we were all made in God's image. Well, if that's the case, then we can become gods, and I think that that's a better direction for your spirit. Once you find what centers you, once you find something you can have confidence in and not faith, that's going to really shape your life. It's going to really change how you can fulfill your purpose and how you can actually um, find a center of happiness. Um, and by all means, if Jesus is that center of happiness for you, then I 100% support you in that. I love you just the same and nonetheless. For everybody that's having trouble with the whole message of which religion to follow, who to believe in, or what, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself as if you were God. Not because you are God, but because you were made in His image. You think about that. You think about the Bible. The Bible has so many contradictions. Inside the Bible, the word luck it doesn't appear. Um, Yet you'll hear very many Christians throwing around words like lucky and blessings. All this thing, the body, the person, the human mind has an ability to project spells. Every word you speak out is like a spell. Uh, and so for me, I project what it is I want. I never say things like it's always something. There's always something. It's always a problem. Because if you say that, then it'll always be a problem. So, for me, I found a center. Meditation brought me into a reality that gives me a strong connection with God. And so my message that I'm here to give enough people that will listen basically is that Jesus doesn't exist. But the thing is, of course, that's not a new message. It's not profound. So, how do we peel back the layers and make it resonate? That's why, for me, I had to start a whole channel because it's not something that, okay, here's my message. I don't believe in Jesus. What's next? For me, I wanna really be an open book. I'm here to, share my life, and the way I'm able to articulate and put together words. I'm here to share that with everyone. It's like you basically have been given uh two gifts, each person. The one gift that you've been given is life. Every moment you sit upon is the present, and that being a gift, it's a present. So that's great. We did discuss that a little bit last episode. The second gift that everybody's been given is unique to that person. And I can't define that. I can't lay that out for you, but you're going to be able to nurture and find your gift better once you get your spirituality under control. Um, for you to find a center within inside yourself, that's the message. The message is find yourself at whatever cost. You know, the hex that we will get, the backlash that people can get from the Christian community or things of that nature, it's really not becoming of what they believe in. So it's very vexing to me how one religion can cast out another religion and cast out another religion when the focus should be God. Oftentimes I had this recurring dream ever since I was a young kid, and I spoke about it also last episode. The recurring dream was basically me standing there, and I'm always in a nice suit, and I can remember I was maybe seven, maybe six, 7, 8 years old when I first started having this dream, and it was just before uh, we left. My family left one church and joined another church. Um, all of these things right here in this cluster really were in my mind up until maybe the past 3 or 4 years, where my message started becoming clear. And if my gift is going to be able to articulately share my life to the point where it resonates with enough people to where they get closer to God, then I'll accept that gift. I used to have the dream I was always, saying something, and it seemed like gibberish. It would always come out like I couldn't tell what I was saying, and there were always hundreds and thousands of people in front of me, and I couldn't see their faces, but I could tell that they were at least happy with my message. It would be always something where they're doing something, and I would tell my mother about this dream, and my mother, being the Bible thumper that she is, would always tell me about that I was destined to be a pastor, that I was running from the Lord. Um, the thing about it is, that never sat well with me, and I'm really glad that I didn't take on being a pastor. I've taken on enough dumb things in my life that I regret, and I'm really glad that I didn't take on trying to lead people. I imagine how many people are actually pastors that don't even believe their own message. That's a scary thing. Um, so for me, spirituality and oneness is the message. Everything about myself is in line with my journey towards that spirituality and oneness, towards that growth. I have these locks. There are only 10 of them in my head right now. It started probably with about 60. And I'm going to combine them until basically I can't. Hopefully that comes into one. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna spend my life's days on my journey of oneness. So that's important for me to. I share these things because my diet, my these prayer beads, these I walk with these every day. Um, I don't put anything on them. I don't praise them, but I do feel connected with my own meditations from them. I hold them in the kundalini. I hold them in a way of prayer sometimes when I pray. I do whatever calls upon me. Like I really feel it and then I do it. Um, this dream that I had, it was reoccurring until I was about 22, 23-ish. And I haven't had a dream at all since, period, until maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was in specific relation to a woman friend that I have. And to me, um, even the person that you're supposed to date, even everything that makes you unhappy, even everything that doesn't properly serve inside your life, it starts to come out in your meditations. When you pray, you're giving your problems to God. You're giving your problems to Jesus. You pushing your problems away. When you meditate, you're accepting these problems as something you just have to deal through, that you've actually been given the power to deal through. And you just need the peace and calm and the understanding, the avenue, the capital, whatever, what have you, to fix the problem. Uh, I don't think that either practice is uh, any more or less right, as long as you're firmly connected with the one true God. This is not about agnosticism, has a different little spin because we're talking about one true God here. This is not about atheism, again, because we're talking about one true God. It's obviously not about Christianity or the Nation of Islam or so many other Catholicism, so many other religions. Directly, this is something that you want to try to process from a point where, I guess, where reality or science meets your spirituality. Uh, it's definitely not Scientology or anything like that, but the science, the sure explanation of how this works, how this happens, what actually makes sense to you, what actually sticks. Whenever explained to you, it sticks. You take that and you allow it to resonate with your spirituality. And that's how you progress. That's how you find ways to peel back the layers. That's how you're going to just really get the most out of this channel. We call this channel Casual Therapy, PTSD Entertainment. PTSD in an acronym business sense means Philip talks, Cherie does. But obviously, in a true acronym in a medical sense, it's post traumatic stress disorder. We experience post traumatic stress. All of us, not some of us, all of us experience it at some point in our life. And so, with that being said, I felt it a need to address it. Everybody thinks that it has to be some crazy event or some deadly event, perhaps, for you to end up getting post traumatic stress disorder. And honestly, you get a sense of trauma after anything that's happened that stresses you out. So that's what that is, post traumatic. So it's trauma after it happened, and it basically has caused you trauma and stress. And those what that is, that's baggage. That's what Erica Badu called baggage. And what we want to do is we want to try to open up those bags, unpack this, and really just dig in and become okay with it inside who we are. And this channel is going to be all about that. It's going to go from finances to emotions to relationship and love to all in between. But it starts with the groundedness of your spirituality. And that's the message that I definitely have to give to whoever will listen. Um, so long story short, it's a funny thing the way life works because we all have a purpose on this earth. That purpose on this earth is unique to each one of us, but it's tied to every one of us. I say this often: if you're not here to help another individual on this earth, then quite frankly, you can go ahead and die because the rest of us here, we don't need you. Your purpose is served for yourself. No one person can sit in a box and be okay. You can have food and water and just nothing inside that box. You're gonna go crazy because you need companionship. So we all need each other. we all should figure out how to agree. Just think about what this thing could really unfold. Crime and the divorce rate and so many other things would be different if we all had a better practice towards spirituality and oneness. Just find yourself, just meet yourself totally and wholly, and understand that not kings and queens, we're gods and goddesses, literally. See, if we're made in God's image, then that's a fact. So, how are you? I just don't understand Christianity and so many things where, in my dream, I'm standing there and I'm speaking in tongues. A friend of mine asked me, do you think at that time frame you was speaking in tongues? Like, what was going on? Like, I really don't know, even to this day. But I know that it was vivid in my mind. I can remember when I first started having this dream, it was crazy. I was sitting here in the church with my mama, and I kept falling asleep, falling asleep. We all do that. My mama kept nudging me, and instantly it seemed like for out of nowhere, I just remember how it went. My mama said, uh something to my little brother, and I sat up and I started staring at the pastor trying to figure out what the heck he was preaching about. And I sat there for a minute. The next thing you know, there was a gentleman in the other side of the pew. It started going crazy. It looked like he was possessed by a demon. For whatever that is, he looked like that for sure. And I could just remember I was just sitting there. I was watching the man. I was watching the pastor. And the pastor started speaking in tongues. And I can remember thinking, that kind of sounded like what I said in my dream. But I just didn't know what to make of it. I was a young kid, but I just remember being real alert, just super alert, and just seeing all this and remembering all this. And then, no sooner than the pastor said a few things in tongue and said, I want you gone. This guy, he got totally quiet, sitting there, totally quiet. Seemed like his whole body went limp. He stood up, still like eyes closed, totally limp, arms at his side, just totally limp, and walked out of the church. Still seemed like he didn't even open his eyes, just walked out the church with his eyes closed, arms to his side. And it was such a vivid memory for me. I remember the man's face even. And I remember some few years back, I was in Vegas and I thought I seen the man's face. And it made me think of the dream as if I was having a dream standing up, walking down the Vegas Strip. But I wasn't. All these different occurrences, and the dream is verified. My mother, I've told my mother about this very many times. She always said that I was running from being a pastor, like I said. And the thing is, it never resonated with me. It never sat with me. Like I said last video, I was in a bad place, and I could have just ended my life. And I just started changing so many things. And this YouTube channel, it was never in the cards of the changes. It just kind of came about. Honestly, I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to own a business with my sister. That was it. That was the only reason. My sister is super talented and super special, and I wanted to usher her into some type of self-employment or some type of uh, self-world, something she can control. Because once she start controlling one thing and seeing how easy it is to make your own way, all that other getting a good job and this and that and what you're going to do to start a company, everything changes when you know yourself. So essentially I started it, and then we went months and months uh before we made it a thing. And then we did our rough draft recording. None of this planned at all. None of this planned, just like this video right now. None of these videos are scripted. This is all genuine and from the heart. And I just think it's beautiful to be able to share any of this with people and give some people some insight and maybe heal some people. Uh, and each and every episode is gonna be just a little nugget. And if you stay in tune with me, rock with your boy, you definitely gonna learn something. And then maybe you comment and I learn something too. And that's so beautiful because I love to learn, and I'm very open minded. And you know, so we go and it goes from boom, we do rough draft recording. The following weekend happens to be Valentine's Day. So for me, I'm thinking, what's a good topic? What's a good topic? Um, okay, let's define love. We had talked about 30 topics, but which one we going to start this thing with? Okay, let's start with defining love since it's Valentine's Day. Boom. By the time that episode was over, I hated the episode. Didn't think that we should have started in that direction, but it was too late. Now I'm trying to spin it into something that is a good episode that the people are going to actually subscribe to and love. And I don't know, I couldn't figure it out, but sure enough, you get love, you get self-love, you get meditation, and then boom, spirituality. Something that I feel like I can put this weight off of me and just say, hey, believe in what you want to believe in, but when all else, believe in yourself so strongly that you believe in God. That's the message. Believe in yourself so strongly that you believe in God. And with that message, with that being said, that's it. I'm gonna end this one here, and look forward to my sister throwing in her 17 cents on the issue, and it's all good. So positive and forward. Love y'all.